everyone, I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy continues impacting our society in deeply transformative ways. On January the 16th, Martin Luther King Day, the city of LA honored his legacy with America's biggest birthday celebration of his life and work. Take a look.
Today we're celebrating Martin Luther King Day here in Crenshaw with our colleagues on the City Council, just coming together to really celebrate and uplift Martin Luther King, especially during some tough times.
Well, this is an exciting parade, a chance for us to commemorate the importance of MLK, and more importantly, come together as a community. So that's what we're doing here, rain or shine.
It's great to be out here celebrating and remembering the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's a day to celebrate his accomplishments and how far we've gone, but to recommit to continuing his fight for social change.
It's a community benefit to see your elected officials in the community actually doing work. You know, we're not always in City Hall. So today is considered a day of service. So there are service projects throughout the city that each and every one of us will be going to after the parade is over. But the parade is in remembrance of the struggle. And that's why it's important to be here in the community to know that we are fighting for what's right.
For me, MLK Day is a nice reminder every year of all the work that's left unfinished and the gap between where we are and where we need to be as a country.
We're living in a society that's after all of the work that he's done. So we're in a better place for some communities, but people have to know the struggle that has happened, what he has done, how he was taken away, so that we can really learn to value the rights and times that we're in, but also so that we don't forget that there's different ways to fight, oppression and racism.
He fought for a better future for all. And Dr. King, for us in labor, died standing up for workers, the sanitation workers. And so that's why it's so important for us. But I think to commemorate his legacy, what he represented and who he was as a person.
Here we are celebrating for the sole purpose of letting young people know how important it is to fight for civil rights, for human rights, for housing rights. And this day of remembrance gives us the opportunity to engage in the conversation with young people. They understand the importance, they know what the fight was about, and they can continue to fight with us all.
I'm just happy to be out here with the community as we celebrate the history and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King.
The heavy rains have been causing many dangerous situations, further testing the Los Angeles Fire Department's dynamic responsibility as well as other city resources and departments. Captain Eric Scott of the LAFD discusses one challenging rescue operation involving two vehicles that were swallowed up into a large sinkhole in Chatsworth during LA's latest downpour.
This was an unusual, low-frequency, high-risk type of a call that we responded to, where a large sinkhole had swallowed up two vehicles and we had to make a very dynamic rescue. When we arrived on scene, there were two people that we were immediately met with that already were able to safely get out. However, inside on the car that was beneath the other car was two people that had to be rescued. This was beyond scary for them to be driving down a dark road, windshield wipers going full tilt, and then to sink into the ground, to be trapped, not be able to get out, and then to have another vehicle fall and land on top of them, further trapping them. So we quickly realized that we needed to make a dynamic rescue. Ideally, we would like to put up some protection, an edge protection around the area, but we didn't have that luxury due to how fast the water was still pouring in the hole. The asphalt was cracking and shifting. The vehicles were continuing to roll. So what ended up having to happen was a high-angle rope rescue, which is when we use our large trucks that you'll see driving throughout Los Angeles. They have the white aerial ladder where we lifted that up and put that over the hole and had a firefighter don a harness, and then we strategically were able to lower them into this hole, secure that door, grab a patient and pull them out to safety, and then repeat that. If it were not for the outstanding job that our firefighters did, really putting safety aside for themselves, putting themselves in harm's way to rescue those patients, they likely would not have survived. And that hole has only exponentially grown and has become a cavern, easily 10 times what it was the night when we were first here. But dealing with the emergency management, there's often simply 4 phases of it. It's the preparedness, the response, the mitigation, and the recovery. The fire department is heavily involved in usually the response and mitigation, where we go out there and solve the problem. Now that this has been days, it's turning a little more into the recovery, where we lean on other city partners and we all come together as a group to determine whose ground is this actually on. What other agencies can come in to assist, from Street Services, Department of Transportation, Bureau of Engineering, and the list goes on and on and on, of all these other partners that come together to say, hey, how can we, one, ensure that there's no other individuals that could come into harm's way, and then how do we repair this? Is there water lines, are there sewer lines, are there internet lines that need to be repaired, and to get the vehicles out? So this is the long tail effect of an incident where we move to the recovery phase and all city agencies come together. Many people are surprised to learn that there's actually 6,000 to 9,000 water emergencies that lead to deaths every year in the United States. And the scary part of that statistic is that 1/3 of those deaths are would-be rescuers. So we don't want people who are well-intentioned to put themselves in harm's way, whether that's someone floating down the LA River or going into a hole. Call 911, know where your location is so we can get to you right away, and we'll come in and mitigate that with a team of well-skilled and trained professionals. We also don't want people driving through flooded areas where you cannot see the pavement beneath you. That could be an open hole. You don't know.
Most car thefts and burglaries occur at night, and some could be avoided by taking the correct precautionary measures. With their Stash It, Don't Flash It program, the Los Angeles Police Department is trying to educate Angelinos to help them keep their belongings and vehicles safe. Check it out.
Again, I'll reemphasize, it's going to be really hard to stop if it has to.
People that are breaking into cars are looking in the windows.
What can I do, homeboy?
Today we're going to discuss our education piece on why it's important to lock and secure your vehicles. Primarily we're running in the evening hours because this is when the burglary from motor vehicles were occurring. Today's press conference was twofold. One, we wanted to educate the community on the Stash It, Don't Flash It program to prevent burglary from motor vehicles. And the second piece to that is we have many strategies to reduce these crimes. In the last 4 weeks, we've conducted 13 undercover details, which have resulted in 19 arrests. Crime was very blatant last year here in Central, so we're going to stay with running these task forces at least twice a week. Always make sure you park your vehicle in a well-lit area with no trees that are hanging over where it's dark. Also, make sure your vehicle is locked. Don't leave belongings, don't even leave a water bottle or a computer inside your vehicle, because that suspect will break into that vehicle, will smash the window, and will get that property.
Aside from courage and commitment, some LAPD officers have other talents they share with the community. Stick around for this week's feature story about LAPD's singing officer. The winning LAFD Photo of the Year gets revealed. The LA Sanitation Department shares tips to prepare for the rain, and the city improves the process of reporting hate crimes. All these stories up next on City Beat.
In December 2022, the 3rd annual Los Angeles Fire Department Photo of the Year contest invited professional photographers to submit their best work. Photographers from across the Los Angeles area captured images of the LAFD in action. The 2022 competition showcased 18 images uniquely depicting the LAFD, which were voted on by the public. Top honors went to Jake Asner, who has been chasing calls with his camera since he was in high school. His winning action shot of a firefighter in front of a burning car will hang in LAFD's headquarters in LA City Hall East. The rainy season is here, so be sure your home and neighborhood are ready for the wet winter weather. The LA Sanitation and Environment Department has prepped Los Angeles by cleaning out catch basins and keeping emergency workers and equipment at the ready. Do your part. Sign up for emergency alerts, clean out your home's gutters, and clear away debris from in front of your homes and business. Once the rain subsides, pick up fallen branches, clear away debris, and empty any open containers of water to stop mosquitoes from breeding. To report clogged gutters, dial 311 or log on to myla311.lacity.org. The LA City Attorney's Office is working tirelessly to make reporting and prosecuting hate crimes less frustrating for victims and witnesses. The LA City Attorney sees to it victims are treated fairly, receive protection, are notified of any court proceedings, and receive appropriate restitution. When a hate crime is reported, the Office of the City Attorney never shares the victim or witness's immigration status with other offices.
So we don't ask victims and witnesses what their immigration status is, nor does that status affect the outcome of the cases we handle. If we know what their immigration status is, we don't share that with any other government agency since it's not relevant to the cases that we prosecute.
While we're still in the first month of the year, our city leaders are planning the best ways to serve their community during 2023. Channel 35 had the chance to talk with Councilmember Bob Blumenfield from CD3 about what actions his team is hoping to undertake and what he hopes the landscape will look like in the district he represents in the next 12 months.
Got a lot of big goals for 2023 and a lot of continuation goals. We've been working for the last several years on some major projects that are coming to fruition this year and next year, and one of my biggest goals is to get those projects over the finish line. For example, the Reseda Skate Rink, something we've partnered with the LA Kings. It's going to be the first and only public skating rink in the city of Los Angeles. It's going to be subsidized to make it more affordable for folks, and it's going to be located right here in Reseda. Public safety is incredibly important to me, both in terms of emergency preparedness, but also in terms of public safety, police, and fire, and quite frankly, speeding. So it's important that we continue the effort that we've done in the last couple of years, making physical changes to some of the roads to make them less dangerous, whether that means putting in bollards, more stop signs, or speed humps or speed bumps. It also means working hand in glove with LAPD, doing speeding task forces. I have a number of goals for the Valley, making the Valley safer, making the Valley greener. We've started some projects that I'm going to continue this year having to do with greening the San Fernando Valley. Things like Cool Streets projects. The first public street in the nation to be made into a cool street is right here in the 3rd District. Working on a number of animal welfare issues, and probably the biggest one coming up this year has to deal with banning particular instruments of torture that are often used in rodeos. I'm talking about electric prods, I'm talking about certain sharp devices. I put forward legislation that was unanimously passed to get the city attorney to draft an ordinance to ban those implements of torture in the city of Los Angeles. And then when it comes to animal welfare, the other piece to that is trying to right the ship. Our Animal Services Department has had a lot of challenges, to say the least. As the new budget chair, I intend to look very closely at their budget and make sure that their budget is being spent effectively and efficiently, and that they have the funding that they need to do the services that we expect. We have created the Canoga Park Cultural Arts Hub, which is super exciting. We've taken the Madrid Theater, we're giving it this major facelift. It's getting all new lights, all new technology, making ADA compliant, a new marquee on the front. It was already a wonderful community asset, but now it will be a community gem. Homelessness is the #1 issue, and we are doing a lot to get people off the streets. Several major properties are opening up this coming year. The county has the 818 Hotel, and at my urging, that project is going to be specifically for families. So it is going to be a temporary interim location for families that are in need. It's more than just doing the work. It's about seeing the potential in others, and it's about bringing people together throughout this community to make good things happen.
Did you know that 2023 is the year of the rabbit? Hope, which characterizes this Lunar New Year, is what brings people together to celebrate it in a selection of free community events. The LA Zoo offered people a chance to see Wushu, Shaolin, Lion, Dragon performers live and activities for the young ones to participate in. Take a look.
We are super excited because today is the launch of the citywide Lunar New Year celebration. Today here at the zoo, we are doing art activity bags for kids, and we are having the Wushu, Shaolin, Lion, and Dragon dancers perform for guests who are waiting to get into the zoo. So it's going to be really exciting. It's a great way to start the whole Lunar New Year celebration.
This is to honor Lunar New Year and to honor our AAPI community here in Los Angeles. And I think it's an opportunity for us to get together, to learn more about each other's cultures, and to celebrate the wealth of diversity that is here in Los Angeles.
This is happening at the Los Angeles Zoo because the zoo is a perfect place to bring people together. The zoo is a microcosm of cultures of people from all around Los Angeles, and this is an opportunity to amplify an incredible cultural celebration of Lunar New Year, where people from Los Angeles can come and experience and celebrate that right here in the zoo, and then also learn about the animals that represent so many parts of the world as well.
I've been dancing for about 10 years. It's great exercise, it feels amazing, and it's a great way to express my creativity. I get to represent my culture in a great way, so it feels fulfilling.
This is very important to me because it shares the Chinese traditional culture that we don't really get to see in America. So it teaches the youth about different aspects of the traditional culture, the dance, the art, as well as different performances. We also incorporate breakdancing, so this is a great way for us to express, and so it's important to me in that way.
What we really need during this time in our city is an opportunity to appreciate our different cultures, to really look and see and experience what it is that our different cultures do and the traditions that they have throughout the city. So we'll have opportunities for people that know about the event that will be attending, and then also for people that are here. The kids that are going to be waiting in line to attend the zoo today are going to get these great arts activity bags to be able to enjoy. And we'll have this event here, we'll have events at our art centers to be able to celebrate this exciting time.
And if you want more information about how to go to those events and to find out where they are, you can go to culturela.org.
Drinking water is one of the most simple and important things we can do to stay healthy. The LA Mission on Skid Row recently welcomed the installation of the water box in collaboration with LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis. This installation will help provide those in need with access to free drinkable water.
We are unveiling a water box that's being provided through a coalition of groups, our office, LA County Board of Supervisors, putting in some money, getting matching funds from Cervicon, Southern Cal Gas, and also the manufacturer of this 501c3 that actually designed the water box.
When we were contacted by Supervisor Solis's office and saw that there was an opportunity to fill this need here, it fit perfectly with our goal. So as an organization that provides cleaning and environmental services, clean drinking water goes hand in hand with that.
People don't have access to water, an essential part of our life and our livelihoods. And even though it's winter time right now, people still need to be hydrated. So people can come here to the LA Mission. They are hosting our box here, and we're hoping that we can get more people to understand it's free, it's available. You can bring your jug, or you can get some jugs that we have here that you can fill it up and know that you're going to be in a safe place to receive that. We should have 100 of these placed in different parts of Skid Row and other places where we find people living in unhoused areas or just need to have this kind of nourishment.
We continue looking ahead into 2023 and recently sat down with council member Tracy Park from City 11 to learn more about her vision for the community she represents. Homelessness continues to be a top priority, as well as supporting the LAFD and LAPD staffing efforts, amongst other initiatives. Take a look.
CD11 is a very large district. Geographically, it spans all the way from Brentwood and the Palisades down to and including LAX, east to the 405. And, you know, I think about how many thousands of people in our district are counting on me and my team to serve them and to get things right for our entire community. But I'm also very excited to be joined by so many new council members, and I am really proud of the fact that there are so many women in leadership here at City Hall now. I have a lot of big priorities, but obviously the homelessness crisis in my district and across our entire city is the top of mind issue for residents and constituents, and for me as well. In Venice, we have the highest concentration of unhoused individuals anywhere in our city outside of Skid Row. Just recently, I have been really excited to partner with Mayor Bass as part of her Inside Safe initiative. And just in the last couple of weeks in my district, we have now housed 80 people who were living in an encampment around the Venice Bridge home. We are also in the midst of a serious staffing crisis with our public safety partners, both at the fire department and in LAPD. And so it is going to be a top priority for me moving forward to ensure that our public safety partners have the staffing and the funding and the resources that they need to keep our community safe. I am really excited about the opportunity to chair our city's Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee. I am very excited to sit on our Economic and Community Development Committee and working through those platforms to help roll out my Better 11 initiative, which is really bringing the west side of Los Angeles back to the community that we all expect it to be. If anybody would like to reach out to me or my staff and to get involved, which I would really welcome, they can go to cd11.lacity.gov.
If you saw LAPD detective Chris Reza patrolling the streets, you wouldn't know that aside from protecting and serving, he graces the community with his singing. In this week's feature story, we meet the officer who moonlighted as a mariachi singer and finally decided to combine his two personas and sing in uniform as part of Los Servidores, those who serve. Check it out.
So I've been with the LAPD for, this is going to be my 19th year. Throughout that whole time, I was moonlighting as a mariachi singer. My mother instilled a love for mariachi music at a very young age, so that was my kind of passion away from work, and it was something that helped me appreciate and leave my work struggles or stresses at work and get focused into that. So 2007, I started doing little shows that we helped produce for different things, and I had a lot of success early on. I was able to sing at the show at the Hollywood Bowl, open for Mariachi Vargas twice, sing at the House of Blues, at the Grove Anaheim, and all this was still kind of away from the job. Slowly, people started finding out, and then I had friends that had come from mariachis in Mexico that were actually police officers, and they told me, hey, you need to start singing in uniform, be a police officer mariachi. This is what they used to do in El DF, right? And at that point here, back, in those times, I was like, no, you're crazy. I can't sing in uniform. I was honing my skills here, and community policing and those things that we do in uniform now that are commonplace hadn't really been, thought of yet or accepted, so to speak, right? Just by chance, the department members got together to put a quinceañera on, and they said, can you come and do the music? And I said, sure. They said, can you sing in uniform? I said, no. While I get there, it's more department personnel than it is family. It was a real low-key event. I said, I'll sing a couple of songs in police uniform. And the minute I did that, that's when it all kind of changed as far as the reception I got from the family, the conversations that were had after that. This is kind of what I'm supposed to do. It was a voice that made sense now that to use it for community engagement, to get closer to my community, especially in Los Angeles that's so, prominent with mariachi culture. We were able to put together a group of law enforcement officers that play mariachi music, that sing, called Los Servidores, and there was different departments, different agencies that we got together. We did a couple of shows. But if you're able to do things that you love, which is police work, mariachi music, two passions, and combine them, and you're able to reach more people that identify with you in a more positive way, why not? Everybody relates to a song. Everybody has a loved one. Everybody has a memory when it comes to mariachi music especially. And if you can share that moment through mariachi music and you're actually having the ability to just become a person over a song, you become approachable where sometimes we're not looked at as we're looked at as the cops. We don't have those likes. We don't have those interests, some people think, right? We're like everybody else. So it's a very big connection with the community, especially over music, which is so profound, and it's become just an incredible vehicle and different way to interact with people, and it's been great.
Follow along the Golden Dragon Lunar New Year Parade. Join the Salt Marsh Open House and learn about marine animals, or attend the Hostile Terrain 94, the Undocumented Migration Project exhibition. All this up next on Things to Do.
Celebrate the Lunar New Year with the oldest Chinese New Year parade in Los Angeles. The 124th annual Golden Dragon Lunar New Year Parade is hosted by the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. This colorful Chinatown celebration is one of the premier cultural events in the Southern California Asian American community. Thousands line the streets to watch the Wind Lion Dance, floats, bands, fire trucks, city officials, and the traditional Golden Dragon dance along Chinatown. Usher in the Year of the Rabbit Saturday, January 28th, beginning at 1 p.m. on North Broadway in Los Angeles. For more information, log on to culturela.org. Join the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium educators to learn about the Salinas de San Pedro wetlands habitat at Cabrillo Beach. You'll be given binoculars and microscopes to observe live animals in their natural habitat. Visitors can view birds of the marsh, learn about native plants, and observe the changes in the tides. Be there Sunday, January 29th at 1 p.m. The Salt Marsh Open House is free and open to all ages. Log on to CabrilloMarineAquarium.org for more information. You won't want to miss Hostile Terrain 94, the multimedia exhibition that tells the stories of undocumented migrants and their families who have attempted to cross the U.S.-Mexico border. The exhibition includes multi-sensory components that speak directly to the migrant experience, photographic narratives of border crossers, found objects left behind by migrants, video and interactive storytelling. See and hear their experiences as they traverse remote and depopulated regions on foot from Central American jungles through Mexico and the Sonoran Desert. The exhibit will help raise awareness to the reality of the dangers happening at the border. Hostile Terrain 94, the Undocumented Migration Project, is on display at La Plaza on 501 North Main Street in Los Angeles through July 9. Log on to lapca.org for more information. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.